Well, I'm going downtown. I'm going to buy me a sack of flour. I'm going to cook it every hour. Keep my skillet good and greasy all the time, time. Skillet good and greasy all the time.
Hey Jenny, what's cooking?
Not much. What's cooking with you, Jonathan?
You know, we're cooking today with a lot of very bizarre ingredients.
I'm really not sure what's cooking today.
I have no idea what's cooking today,
Thanks
and I don't
to
think
these
anybody
two.
else. Thanks to these two. In case you haven't been following along, tonight is the UGO challenge on What's Cooking Now, coming to you from the beautiful grounds of the Hyndman Settlement School. Thanks to the Kentucky Humanities Council for their support and for funding this thing for some reason. But this is the place where food is love, and
Love tastes delicious.
And,
I hope it's going to taste delicious tonight. We might,
yeah.
I'm not feeling super confident about our tagline tonight.
Tonight, what we've done is we've dispatched our intrepid team here, one of whom I'm married to, I should say, to the local grocery outlet, the United Grocery Outlet, which is how would you describe UGO exactly?
Well, I actually looked on the website. I was fascinated because Les told us that it was the Southeast's largest. How did you describe it, Les?
Second largest closeout dealer.
Second largest closeout dealer. So, and he described it also as a pallet. It's big lots for groceries.
Yeah.
Although, yeah. So they've got crazy stuff, and I love when they first opened. Their suggestion, I remember that, I think they interviewed them on the news or something, and I don't know why this cracked me up so much, but it did. Their suggestion was that you should come to UGO first before you go to the grocery store and see what you can find, and then you can go and get the stuff you really need at the grocery store. And I don't think that's how they said it, but
Something
you can
along those
always
lines,
count
yeah.
on UGO for just crazy stuff.
So we decided that we would dispatch Les and Tamara there and let them find whatever bizarre ingredients they wanted to find. And boy, did they ever. And 48 hours ago, you can look on our Facebook feeds and you'll see the video where we did the reveal of all this this gorgeousness. And we'll be talking about some of the great things they threw our way tonight. But why don't we get started?
All right, let's do it. What do you got going on here?
Well, one of the things that was in our bag was a rabbit, a whole frozen rabbit.
Which is one of my favorite things about UGO, because that's not weird to us, right? Like, we eat things like that.
I mean, not
and it's
entirely.
It's really nice to be able to find rabbit someplace other than I'm
the woods.
always trying to. I teach at the community college, and I'm always trying to get my students to bribe me, and it never works. Like, I don't know if they don't think I'm serious, but I'm always trying to get the ones that hunt to bribe me with rabbit. And what I really like, deer, fine, I'll take your deer, but I really wish I had more students that hunted birds. Like, I'd love to get some quail or some dove up in here.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Well, having a whole rabbit, I decided that, of course, what I was going to do was Hassenpfeffer. And of course, now I know Hassenpfeffer because I've studied German cuisine extensively for many. No, I know it because I know it because of the Bugs Bunny cartoon.
Yes.
The same reason most of you know what Hassenpfeffer is, the classic shish kebugs, So I decided that I would try to make this. When I looked it up, it's a stew. It's usually with some red currant jelly and vinegar, and so it's kind of a sweet, heavily spiced German stew. It's a little like sauerbraten. So Hasen means Hassa means hair.
I didn't know that.
So it means hair specifically, and then Pfeffer really means pepper. It means like black pepper. But really here it more means spicy, it more means flavorful. So.
And this is probably a perfect application for this rabbit, because rabbit doesn't always have a lot of meat on it.
No, it doesn't.
And
so this is
I guess
something
I grew
that's
up
gonna
eating
spread
rabbit
out.
that my dad hunted, and it wasn't commercially raised, so it could be tough sometimes.
So what I've started here, I've got some onions and garlic that I've just started in a pot, and I threw in a little water to deglaze that. And then here I've got my rabbit pieces that I have browned. I've just cut up the rabbit into serving pieces, which I thought I did a lovely job, considering it's the first rabbit I've ever cut up. And
I hope it won't be the last.
I hope not. And I'm going to add those.
So you just coated that in a little
I just coated those in a little
flour
seasoned
and
flour
just
and just browned it off.
And it's just going right on top of the
and I've got all of that, and I did the onions in that, so I kept all of that fond.
You marinated the rabbit.
I marinated the rabbit in another
one of our finds. Did you bring a bottle?
One of our finds, I did. Pomegranate 7-Up. That's right, pomegranate 7-Up.
7-Up.
This is one of their special holiday finds.
Yeah, which I think's delightful.
So I
It
marinated.
tastes good. We tasted it.
Yeah,
It's good.
we tasted it. It's very good. So I marinated the rabbit in a combination of the 7-Up and red wine vinegar, and then some spices, just like a spice blend. Really, just a spice, kind of a just some sort of a Penzies mural of flavor is mostly what it is. And I'm going to add this right to that. Add my marinade.
So that's the marinade. You're just putting that
Yeah,
right on top of
and
the.
she left behind that little leg,
Oops,
guys. So I'm
okay.
going to drop that one in there. So that's where we start. Now, vinegar is an important component of this, and a lot of times there's bacon, a lot of times there's some sort of pork. So I thought I might add another of our finds, which is salt and vinegar pork rinds. That's
Listen,
right.
These are just.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of my
delicious
favorite
anyway.
things. This
Yeah,
is this is
just
one of
to
my
eat.
gas station go-tos right here is Chicharon. And if you've had good Mexican chicharrones, you've seen them stewed before. But I'm just going to take these dry ones here. I'm going to kind of crush them up, and I'm going to dump in here.
And it's nice because these are salt and vinegar, so they're going to add
Yeah.
that vinegar flavor to this.
Exactly. So we're going to get some pork. We're going to get some vinegar. We're going to get all the tastiness. We're going to get all that down in there.
I'm gonna. Our listeners need to thank me because I'm not gonna pull out the stomach of the rabbit, which you did not put in.
Yeah, the belly.
Because it looked fascinating to me laying in that.
But the belly
But I
does
won't
not, in
show
fact.
It. It's okay.
It does not, in fact. The belly is not really good eating. It's really just more of a flap. So you just sort of pull that off. Really.
They just don't have fat.
There's just not any
There's
fat
not
there or
meat.
any meat there. It's just kind of a flap
looks
of
like a flap.
of gristle. So
And I usually enjoy anything gristly or connective tissue-y. But
so I've
I'm
added
gonna
some
take
salt to
more.
this, and I've added those pork rinds. So I don't know that I might add just a little bit more
Okay.
salt, just because I'm always leery of undersalting. Now Hassenpfeffer is a dish that cooks for a long time,
Unless you have modern technology.
unless you have the great time machine of the kitchen,
The Instapot.
the pressure cooker. So I'm moving this over to the Instant Pot. Hand me the lid there. So I could nerd out about exactly how a pressure cooker works. I won't, but
Just nerd out a little bit. I just want to
nerd out a little bit. Really, we're just talking about it raises the pressure in there and that means water boils at a much higher temperature. Just like if you go up into the Rockies, water boils at a lower temperature because the air pressure is less up there. This really builds it up. It builds it up to about 30 psi, which is about the same as inside your car tire. So if you had a tiny stove and you tried to boil water inside the tire of your car, you'd have to get it much hotter than 212 to boil it. So that's what happens in here. And I'm gonna
But why does that make it cook the food faster?
because it's hotter. Because remember, water transfers heat much more easily than air does.
Okay.
So if you can get and the hottest you can get water on the stove is 212 degrees.
Okay, so I've tried to explain this to my daughter, and she doesn't ever believe me. She's like, like we're making pasta or something, right? And she just has the stove just cranking up. And I'm like, Lily, it's not making it cook. It's not making the pasta cook any faster. It's just
Nope.
making the water evaporate faster, right? I'm right about that, right?
You're not. That's
Because the
certainly
water's
not
not getting any
water's
hotter.
not getting
it's
any
just
hotter.
turning to steam.
Yeah, exactly. So
Lily,
so
I
that's
know
what
that you're not listening, but
See?
I'm right.
She's right. I'm just telling you. But that's what's happening in here, and that's. But what happens is that this is going to have to build up some steam. So I've set it for 18 minutes, but that 18 minutes is how long it cooks at full pressure.
Okay.
So it's got to get up to there. It's probably going to take 10 or 15 minutes to get there.
Okay.
And then we'll have to release it, which we can do pretty quickly here. But that 18 minutes will probably do what an hour and a half will do. Will do otherwise. So
Cool.
this is one of those bits of technology. We all remember the our grandmothers and great grandmothers with the pressure
little
cookers
thing.
that you were not allowed to walk through the kitchen when it happened because it might explode.
I've had a pressure cooker explode on me before, and it
Might explode
shot
and kill us all. These are much
the little
safer.
weight off, and it's stuck in the plastic
This
ceiling.
option is much safer. It also works as a crock pot. You can saute in it, but I didn't this time, just to speed things up. But I've got it set to sealing because it has to seal here. And that's going to heat up, and then we'll get hopefully in 40 minutes or so we'll have Hassenpfeffer. Jenny, what have you got going on?
Well, one of the things, we don't do a lot of sweets on this show, really.
Yeah.
That's just not something that we are acclimated to doing. And oops, did you forget your rosemary?
I forgot that rosemary.
And
so
one of the things that Les and Tam, I felt like there was a lot of sweet stuff, but one of them was this salted caramel apple cookie dough. And I thought, what in the hell are we going to do with that? Like, I don't want to make cookies with it. That's not enough. Although it does say that you can eat it or bake it. And probably left to my own devices, I probably would have just shoveled this in raw. But I thought caramel, apple, and I started thinking about savory tarts. So I love the tradition of this is more of a northern thing than a southern thing, but of doing an apple pie with slices of cheese.
Yeah.
And so I kind of started there. And so I've taken the cookies, which came in little, round things. You're supposed to just put them on a cookie sheet and cook them. And I patted the dough out a little bit, and I've got it in this muffin tin. And into this, I'm going to put some manchego cheese and some of my figs. And I say they're my figs because
Jenny's
it says
figs.
so right on there. It says Jenny's figs.
And the
So-
figs, the figs were a UGO find.
the figs are a UGO find. The cheese is not. The sausage is not. But the cookie dough is. So I'm going to chop these figs along with this sausage and some of this cheese, and I'm going to just sort of bake these off and put them in. So that's what this is going to be. And I hope that it'll be good. I was really, really reluctant. I'm not a big, like I said, I don't do a lot of desserts. And you don't really seem to either, do you?
Not really. Not really. I have a wife for that who's an
She's a
accomplished
fabulous.
baker.
I mean, the things she bakes are so beautiful.
They're really
too.
remarkable.
They really are
They're
amazing.
and delicious.
Yeah,
Sadly
they really
enough,
are.
because they are around my house a lot.
Yeah, I probably am glad that.
It makes it hard sometimes. But
I imagine.
but I think this is kind of my kind of dessert. It's not a when you start adding figs and cheese and just all this stuff together.
And meat. I've got
And then
sausage
meat.
to
And
put
then
in
you
there
add
too,
meat.
so.
Then we have our friend Kristen has a who's hopefully listening out there has a serious thing about meat and fruit together. She just can't handle meat and fruit together. But I
Why?
just
I
love
love
it.
it.
She's weird.
She's just odd. But I love meat
it.
and fruit
I
together.
think we
myself.
talked about this the last show or some show that I've been taking to throwing red grapes in anytime I roast chicken because I just love it. And I love that this is kind of a weird thing, I guess, but I like that pineapple dessert that people make at Thanksgiving. Do you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? What's in that? I can't remember now. It's got like breadcrumbs on top of it and cheese, right?
Yeah.
Cheddar cheese.
Some sort of cheese.
Almost like a little bread pudding type
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, Kristen makes it. It's delicious.
Kristen makes it, but it doesn't have meat in it, I guess. But
Yeah.
I love fruit and meat. I love to do that classic appetizer where you take dates or figs or apricots and wrap it in bacon.
Devil's on horseback, I believe that's the.
I always thought devil's on horseback was actually oysters.
Oh,
No, I think there are probably a lot of names for these
probably
things.
so. I'm sure a lot of things have been called devils on horseback.
So I'm going to just take my cheese and I'm just going to sort of cut some little slices that I'm going to put in the bottom. And I'm going to hope, because this is cookie dough, it's really not going to act like a tart shell. I'm afraid that it's going to get super crunchy. So I'm going to want to take these out a little early. And I did go ahead and put them in muffin cup in these little papers because I thought that would make it easier.
Baked those a little bit because I think
Well,
they're tough.
It'll be
I
fine.
thought about blind baking them, but I don't want them to get too crispy.
Yeah.
So I didn't. And I love manchego cheese. Les and I had a little disagreement about the cheese in the grocery store. First I thought I wanted to do cheddar because of that classic, cheddar apple pie. And then I thought maybe I want to do brie. And Les thought I should do something gooier, like a mozzarella. But I really like manchego, and I like the kind of sharp bite of it. I think it's going to be just about perfect. So I'm just going to drop a piece of it down in here for each one of these.
I'm not a gooey cheese person.
I
Generally.
am. I'm
like,
not any kind of cheese
I don't
person.
really. I don't love gooey cheeses. I like my cheese fairly at least semi-firm.
I love gooey cheeses, and I love melty gooey cheeses, and I love things with gooey melty cheese over them. But
This is going to be great, I believe. I think the manchego is going to be perfect.
I think it's going to be perfect too. It's got that nice little bite. I also considered using like a really sort of dry, a nutty Parmesan or something like that. And then I'm going to put the figs in next. I need a little bit more.
Figs,
Maybe sausage.
sausage, then
Sausage
figs.
What do you think?
Fig, yeah.
Sausage then fig?
This is just a regular old breakfast sausage.
Just regular.
Anything.
Yeah, not
anything
the
you had
I
would be
didn't-
gorgeous.
I didn't use the kind with sage. I tried to get to some plain, and I really would have gotten ground pork, and I didn't see any. I need to restock from Old Home Place Farm on
Yeah.
my ground pork because I do love to have just plain ground pork around.
I had some in the freezer. I could have brought if I thought about it.
Well, that's okay. I also sort of thought to myself, do I want to use my beautiful locally raised meat on the UGO challenge? Because this might be bad. We don't know. I think it's going to be
And see,
good, though.
we've done this sort of blind challenge before, this sort of chopped sort of thing before, but it's always been with our with our friend Maggie from Old Holden Place Farm, who brings their lovingly raised vegetables and their lovingly raised meats. All this gorgeous produce. So we've done this before, but in situations where it was kind of hard to lose.
Well, and also, I mean, usually it was August in Kentucky.
Yeah,
I mean, there might be a few surprises.
Plus,
in there,
we kind of knew what was coming.
Kind of knew what you were getting on.
So, so we've done this before, but never quite like this.
But
never
I think this is going to be good. And I say all the time, I say if you can eat, if you know what tastes good to you, that you can cook.
Exactly.
Right. So if you're putting things together, generally. Like there's no bad part of this, right? The cookie dough is good, the figs are good, the cheese is good, the sausage is good. And when I think about those things together, it doesn't make me crazy. So I think this is actually going to be pretty good. I'm kind of looking forward to eating it. And I'm just going to pop these in the oven, and I'm going to try to actually underbake them a little bit, because I don't want the cookies to get too done. Okay, what do you got going on?
Well, I think it'd be a good time for a break, actually, because we're at about 20 minutes. So let's say you're watching What's Cooking Now, coming to you from the Heinemann Settlement School. It's the UGO Challenge, and we will be right back.
Join the Pick and Bow family at Heinemann Settlement School. For the past 5 years, our Pick and Bow Mountain Music Education Program has provided free music lessons to students interested in learning how to play acoustic instruments. Any 4th through 12th grade students residing in Knott or Floyd County are invited to participate. Students have the option to learn guitar, fiddle, mandolin, banjo, mountain dulcimer, or ukulele. These virtual lessons take place on Zoom. If you have a device with a webcam and an internet connection, you're all set. A limited number of loaner instruments are available from the Heinemann Settlement School. Go to heinemann.org/calendar to register. See you soon.
The Red Spotted Newt is a locally owned independent bookstore located in downtown Hazard, Kentucky, specializing in Appalachian literature from authors such as Silas House, Gurney Norman, and Annette Clapsaddle, among many others. The Newt also offers a full collection of art and gifts, including Little Bubby Child prints and these sweet cards inspired by The Office. Check out their store located at 221 Memorial Drive in Hazard, or shop online through bookshop.org. And be sure to follow them on Facebook and Instagram at the handle Red Spotted Newt.
And we're back on What's Cooking Now. We are coming to you from the Heinemann Settlement School. Thanks again to our tech crew and everybody who watches and everybody who's out there supporting us. We're doing the UGO Challenge. We're cooking with the weird stuff that our lovely assistants got for us at the UGO. So there were a lot of beverages, and there goes Jenny's
My little tart.
Jenny's tarts into the oven. So
There were a lot of beverages.
there were a lot of beverages in the list, and I guess they assumed we would make a cocktail, and spoiler, we will. But I thought I would try to do something interesting. I've already used the pomegranate 7-Up as a marinade.
I'm really excited about this.
But these in general, one of the things they got us was a Canada Dry vanilla bean bold ginger ale.
Which sounds like it'd be
which
fabulous.
this is almost
Just
cheating.
with some bourbon. I want to taste that.
Oh yeah, that's good. I mean, it's very, very gingery, very vanilla.
Well, that's not near as over sweet as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I like that. Mm.
I kind of want to boil that down and make marshmallows out of it.
Oh, yes, you must.
So
100%.
So I'm going to start with that. I've got 3. I'm going to add, now let's just do 2 cans of that into here. And another thing that they got us was various fake banana products. One thing was,
These are not fake.
yeah, these are actual. First of all, these are baby bananas. It's just baby banana ingredients. Banana. That's what
You
it
could
says.
watch my- yes.
But it's baby
now
banana.
watch.
These are
I'll
just
show
dried
you back in 5
bananas,
minutes.
sort of individually wrapped. Very odd little device. And then we have the opposite of that, which is go on, shake that Laffy Taffy. That's right, Laff Bites. Laffy Taffy.
I'm shaking my Laffy
She's
Taffy.
shaking that. This is the Gone Bananas flavor, naturally flavored with other natural flavors. So.
And you said when we were doing the reveal, you revealed that you really kind of like
I kind of like fake banana flavored things. I like banana flavored things in general, and even the fake ones I can get behind. So I thought, what can I do with this? And I decided to make a syrup out of it. So that is Laffy Taffy syrup. That was I just took some sugar syrup and boiled up a bunch of those Laffy Taffies. I actually threw in a couple of the baby bananas.
Did you talk about those already?
Yeah, we talked about those.
Those were the craziest things.
Yeah, they're just little
kind of
individuals. They're
obsessed
kind of,
with them.
and they're tasty. They're actually
They're
really
really
delicious.
good, yeah.
But I've done that, so I'm gonna add this syrup.
So what did you do? You boiled that down?
No, I've not boiled this down or anything. That's
You just-
oh
you
no, the
just
syrup.
let
The syrup.
The Laffy Taffy.
The syrup. I just made a little sugar syrup, a little simple syrup, and then added the Laffy Taffy
See, this is
to
what
it.
the bananas look like.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna mix these two things
They're
now.
awfully compelling.
Since we've been doing this show here at the settlement school, I have been dying to use the blast chiller. They have a blast chiller.
Which was part of a grant that they did with North Fork Local Foods, and which we've been using to freeze produce to produce crock pot CSA meals in a partnership with Save the Children. But that's a whole nother story.
But I'm using it to make a granita. That's right. This is ice. This is gonna be iced over. It's gonna and as that freezes over, we're gonna just scrape it up every few minutes.
So traditionally, when you make a granita, you put it in the freezer, and
You put it
every
in the
30
freezer,
minutes
and
or so,
every
you take
20,
a
30
fork.
minutes, you just take a fork and you
just-
scrape it
so
across.
yeah.
We're going to do that, but not nearly, but on a much shorter interval. And in fact, while Jenny talks about what she's doing next, I'm going to check, as I've got one of these in the freezer here, so I'm going to check on that. But
So I'm going to confess that I'm a little concerned about this dish. So
I'm concerned about a lot of things.
Three
happening
of the
tonight, but-
things, well, me too. Three of the things that we got were peeled tiny shrimp.
Tiny shrimp.
Can you get right in on that?
Hold me closer, tiny
Peeled tiny shrimp, and they are indeed tiny.
shrimp. Look at those.
Tiny. They look like bait, and frankly, kind of taste like bait as well. And then smoked clams, which I'm not mad about because I never met a stinky fish in a can that I didn't like. I love sardines. I love canned oysters. I love tinned fishes, actually.
And you know, around the world, especially in Spain, there's a huge tradition of canned fish being very. I
Right.
mean, you can get very expensive canned
Yes,
fish,
and
really
I
expensive canned
I have
oysters
done
and that
so,
sort of
and
thing.
I love
yeah.
the little canned baby octopus.
Yep.
And then a jar of king oyster mushrooms. And so when I was thinking about these ingredients and what I could do with them, I decided that I would do a fritter. Because honestly, really, you could probably chop up a dog turd and fry it, and it would be not.
It wouldn't be that bad.
It definitely would be worse than this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chop all this kind of finely, and I'm going to make a little fritter with it. And I've made coating for it out of some other things that we got, which I can't remember if I brought out here or not. But
So you use some of the pork rinds.
I used some of the pork rinds, and then I used some corn nuts, and these were corn nuts con picante. So they had,
a little lime and
let me get the packaging, because I
lime and
really
chili.
need to see this.
Lime and chili corn nuts
My packaging, did it get thrown away?
that
No.
were in there. But I'll tell you, this breading is delicious. I've already had a bite of it.
Okay,
It's
so
gonna be
here
really
were some of the weird things I got that we're totally going to use. So these are the corn nuts. Not weird. I love these. I eat
Yeah.
these all the time. The corn nuts with chili con picante and lemon, right? So I crushed up some of those with the pork rinds. And then these were some other things that they got. So these are coconut crisps. These are coconut crisps that have wasabi. And they are so good that Tamara and I decided nobody's cooking anything with them. Because we just want to eat them. They're amazing. I'm going to UGO and buying all of them. I'll save some for you.
Sprinkle a couple over the fritter just to see
I
how
think
it
I
is,
might.
a little finishing salt.
And I'm planning
And then there were
these.
some other ones, and these
These are bacon flavor.
but they're 100 bacon flavor, and they're 100% vegan. A little weird, but I crushed some up in here to use to bread my fritters. So I'm just going to take all of this and sort of chop it together. I'm not going to put it in the RoboCoupe or get it too fine because I want to have some texture in there. I want to have some pieces. And I'm going to taste one of these mushrooms. I remember when I was little, my mother would always get these like little canned button mushrooms that would be in jars. And I used to like those when I was little.
Yeah, I think that's what just ruined me on mushrooms was the.
I like these are actually pretty good. They're not bad. I think I like it. Okay. And then I'm
You got
gonna
that, some smoked clams. I'll open your clams.
thank you.
Get your tiny shrimp. These look like, they're almost like the little ones you get in like soup, like hot and sour soup sometimes.
They're not great. I want all of these. I'm gonna just drain these real quick.
You mean a 99-cent can of baby shrimp at
I know that it's hard to believe.
UGO
but
was not good.
These mushrooms are really not bad. I kind of like these, actually. Like, they're really not bad. They've got a really good texture. I think I like them. I'm going to keep the oil. Those are good. Like I said, I love canned stinky fish in general. And so I wasn't mad about any of this, but I wasn't sure how I was going to put it all together. And I'm just going to kind of do a rough chop.
So you got all this piled together and just chopping it all together, sort of mixing it and chopping it at the same time.
And then I am going to add an egg and some flour so that it'll hold together. Tamara, would you mind putting some oil in that pan and turning it on so it'll be hot? If there's something that can get a little hotter with a little better smoking point, I think there's just some vegetable oil back there. And like I said, I want this to have some texture, so that's why I'm not just, grinding it to a paste. Yeah, please. And I'm going to make these, I thought about trying to fire up the deep fryer because we're in an actual kitchen with a deep fryer and stuff, but that seemed like too much trouble. And honestly, I kind of usually tend to prefer things to be pan fried to deep fried for the most part. Okay, I'm still seeing some pretty big pieces of the mushrooms, but I think I like this. Maybe a little bit more here. And I'm just going to scoop all this in here. And I'm going to crack an egg. Thank you. And a little bit of flour. I'm just going to, since my hands are already all handsy, I'm just going to mix that egg like this.
These corn nuts are delicious, by the way, and these are
I love corn nuts.
A lot of times these are traditional garnish for ceviche in South America.
Really? I did not know that. Having not been to South America.
I'm not either, but
I'm glad to know it.
oh. All right, using her silver serving spoon, her favorite mixing spoon. She has.
I'm a little bit worried about these holding together, but we're all going to just keep our fingers crossed. I don't think so. I don't want them to get too floury. We'll just see what happens here. And so this is my. I put the corn nuts and the
Everything in a bag.
everything in a bag, and I beat it with a rolling pin, and then I sort of rolled it with a rolling pin as well. And this is pretty salty. This is too because it's canned fish. So I don't know. Let's do a test one. Is that oil hot enough? I may need a little more flour, but we'll test one. Let's test one. So I'm just kind of dropping it in here.
Jenny, what about mixing the breading mix into the bag?
I don't think I want to do that because I don't want it to be too bready, But let's see if this will hold together.
We'll see how this goes.
Am I hot enough yet?
You should be getting close.
Yeah, I think you're getting there.
Is there a spatula? Will you grab a spatula for me to get out of this? Maybe not quite hot enough, but it'll get there. And I think it's going to hold together, actually. Thank you. I'm going to rinse my hands. So I always feel that when in doubt, make a fritter,
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those things if you've got, if they throw a lot of weird ingredients at you, just cut them up into a fritter and fry it up. And as you say, it couldn't be that bad.
Yeah. Couldn't be
Fritter,
that
or
bad.
if you want to be fancy, you can call it a croquette.
Well, okay. I can do that. So I think my oil is not quite hot enough, but I think these are going to hold together.
I think they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need a plate or something to start putting that on?
Yeah, I guess so. And I'm going to turn it up a little bit because that's the wrong knob. I'm going to turn this up a little bit on the idea that there's really nothing in here except for the egg that needs to actually cook. And so I think that should be good. And I think this is going to look real pretty. I'm going to just pull this over here and sort of keep on keeping on. I've turned the oil up a little bit because I really want it to brown.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's going to fall apart. I think it's okay.
No, I think that's going to work.
I don't want to add too many because I don't want to lower my temp too much.
I think you got a big enough pan and enough oil that it shouldn't be an issue.
And I'm just sort of scooping out handfuls of it. Sort of patting it out a little bit.
Notice how she's putting these in the oil and then letting them drop away from her? Like that? So when oil splatters, it won't go all over her.
That was a lesson I learned the hard way.
Most of us learned that one the hard way once or twice.
I remember back in an early What's Cooking Now show when we were still over at the Opulent Kitchens of the Apple Shop and we were doing something and I put something in oil and it spattered up and I still have scars on my chest from it. And I remember I asked Jonathan.
us all out of the building.
Maybe, but I remember I asked Jonathan, I said, what should it, because he's a doctor, you may not know this, and I said, what should I do about this? And he went, ugh, that looks bad. That was all he said.
I'm helpful. Usually it's, that looks bad, that'll be $75.
Well, I do feel special that. How's that first one looking? Is it ready to turn yet?
No.
Not quite. I think these are going to be good. Les, would you mind checking the tarts? Okay. Are they okay? Okay, thank you.
These are going in, and as to how long to cook these, I mean, when they're brown, when they're
nicely browned.
Nicely browned, that's going to be good.
Okay.
There's enough stuff going on in there
that
that they're going to be plenty moist.
Yeah, I think so. Almost. You know what I kind of wish I had brought, and if I were making these again on purpose, what I might do is some coconut flour.
Yeah.
For the breading, which I think would have. I have some at my house too, but I just didn't think about it. So yeah, I think that's going to be pretty tasty. Oh yeah. I love it. All right, how are those looking? What else we got going on over there?
The crust is a little squidgy.
I want it to be a little squidgy. I think it's good. Let's keep it. I think so too. I'm thirsty.
I'm getting a little thirsty, Jenny. I don't know about you. So one of the beverages that came, again, there were a lot of beverages that showed up in this in our mystery basket. Yes, please. Please. Yes, please. So there are a lot of beverages that showed up because you can find, because I guess it's almost like, if you can imagine it, there's probably such a beverage out there. So one of the things that Tam was rather proud of herself for finding
They're very
was
pretty.
Kona Gold Hemp Energy Drink. Bubblegum flavored.
In all fairness, I was in the checkout line before I realized it was bubblegum.
This looks like something that you would probably have
How
at
could you
Snoop
not
Dogg's
know that
pool
was
party.
bubblegum flavor? Look at the color of it.
Yeah, it's so I have not tried this, but
I want to smell it. That's aggressively bubblegum flavor. So I ask this all the time. What is bubblegum flavor? Like what is it? Like there's not a bubblegum plant. Like lemon flavored stuff tastes like lemon.
I don't know.
I might.
She has thoughts?
It's oddly compelling. Right. I think you're going to make a good cocktail with it.
Well, when you give me a pink, I guess this, I haven't even looked to see what, I assumed this was pink. It's actually not, it's actually clear. That's fine. Oh, that's awful. So you give me a pink drink and I started to think Paloma. Now, Paloma is a traditional mixture of tequila and lime and grapefruit soda. And sometimes you'll see, if you go to a fancy cocktail bar, a lot of times you'll see a Paloma made with grapefruit juice and club soda. Really, when you're talking traditional, you're talking about not only grapefruit soda, but the fakest grapefruit soda you can find. Either Doritos or actually a famous, popular one is Squirt. in Mexico. That squirt is pretty common. So I thought I would
like
make.
squirt.
I like squirt as well. I mean, I like these things very much, but just so you know, just because you're making it with freshly squeezed, lovingly hand squeezed grapefruit juice, that does not mean you're making a more authentic Paloma. So I'm going to start with a couple ounces. I've got some highball glasses. I'm going to start with a couple ounces of tequila, and what I've got here is an orange infused tequila
I
that
want to smell that.
was left at my house at one point,
Is
just
this?
to fit in with the theme of the evening. Thank you, Kristen Smith.
Isn't this like some woman distiller made it or something?
Probably.
Saying?
Probably.
I feel like she was saying that.
It's fantastic. So thank you, Kristen Smith. Hope you're out there watching.
I hope so too.
We had a lovely dinner on Saturday night at her Wrigley Tap Room
I need to
in
get
Corbin.
over that way.
And so I'm going to start with a couple ounces because I feel like whatever we do this with, it needs a lot of alcohol.
Yeah.
So then I'm going to go.
What color is that stuff?
It's actually clear. I was surprised. I thought it was going to be all pink. So then I'm going to go with about a half ounce of lime juice.
Yeah.
So this is fresh squeezed lime juice. Only kind I use. I'm going to go with about a half ounce of that.
I was told I was judgy about that, but I
And
am.
I am judgy about that. I judge. There are some things you just must judge. I'm going to go ahead and add some ice to both of these. So this is anytime you're using something with a soda in it, you don't want to shake it
Because
it'll shake the carbonation right out of it. So this is essentially a highball, which is just a liquor and sometimes a flavoring and a.
Why are highballs called highballs?
I don't know. I think low balls versus
Figure that
highballs.
out for us.
This is and these are my favorite highball glasses. These are, of course, Derby glasses that you can usually find very cheap after the Derby. So I'll go ahead and mix that with some ice a little bit, and then I'm going to top it off with our Kona Gold Maui Wowie, I don't know, bubblegum energy drink.
Would you like me to read the Wikipedia answer to that question, Jonathan?
Please.
The etymology of the term highball, the name may refer to the practice of serving drinks in tall glasses on the dining cars of trains powered by steam locomotives, where the engine would get up to speed and the ball that showed boiler pressure was at its high level, known as highballing.
Really?
Ah,
Glad you
well.
did that.
all right. Here's to highballing.
That's good. It's not bad.
I don't know if good is the word I'd use.
I'll drink it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of got that artificialness a little, I'm taking a little bit back to college when we would do like
like
Zima with Jolly
Yeah.
Rancher in it.
I never did that.
Well, that was after your time
Yeah,
a little bit.
it was.
Um,
I'm a little too old for that.
I'm just saying, I was in peak Zima with the Jolly Rancher in it age. Hey, let's do our second break. This is what's cooking now. We are coming to you from the Heinemann Settlement School with the UGO Challenge with
We're cooking up some weird stuff
cooking up
tonight.
some weird stuff tonight.
So
So
my
you'll
sister
definitely
said,
want to.
Jenny hasn't watched enough Chop to do the show. I said, but I've cooked a lot more weird shit than you can shake a stick at.
This
So
is
I
true.
felt like I was
This
very
is not
prepared.
wrong. So we'll be right back.
The Red Spotted Newt is a locally owned independent bookstore located in downtown Hazard, Kentucky, specializing in Appalachian literature from authors such as Silas House, Gurney Norman, and Annette Clapsaddle, among many others. The Newt also offers a full collection of art and gifts, including Little Bubby Child prints and these sweet cards inspired by The Office. Check out their store located at 221 Memorial Drive in Hazard, or shop online through bookshop.org. And be sure to follow them on Facebook and Instagram at the handle Red Spotted Newt.
Join the Pick and Bow family at Heinemann Settlement School. For the past 5 years, our Pick and Bow Mountain Music Education Program has provided free music lessons to students interested in learning how to play acoustic instruments. Any 4th through 12th grade students residing in Knott or Floyd County are invited to participate. Students have the option to learn guitar, fiddle, mandolin, banjo, mountain dulcimer, or ukulele. These virtual lessons take place on Zoom. If you have a device with a webcam and an internet connection, you're all set. A limited number of loaner instruments are available from the Hindman Settlement School. Go to hindman.org/calendar to register. See you soon.
Oh, well, during our break, we had a little tasting of the cocktail, and my favorite comment was, it tastes like going to the dentist.
I liked it.
So, you know, that's not wrong. That is not even slightly wrong.
Nope.
So, Jenny, what do you got?
So one of the things that came back from UGO that I was very excited about was this giant can of boiled peanuts. I love boiled peanuts.
I know
love
there's
when I'm
there's exactly one gas station between here and Lexington that has boiled peanuts, and I know where it is.
and I really like the ones that weren't ever in a can, right? So I love the when you're down south and they're in South Carolina, and so I just love this giant can of boiled peanuts. I was real excited when I saw it, and I was excited because it's been years ago now, and I'm sure that I'm getting this completely wrong. So if anybody knows about this dish that I'm about to talk about, please let me know. I was listening to some show on the radio, and it was about the beaches in India, and this person was telling this story. It wasn't a show about food. The speaker was talking about when they were little, how they would go to the beach, and there would be these food carts, and that they would get these paper cones filled with this warm peanut salad that were boiled peanuts. And it had, I think anyway, well, mine's going to have cilantro, tomatoes, peanuts, and lime juice, basically. And that's pretty much it. And so I love to make this, and I have a very hard time making it because it takes so long to shell the peanuts. And whenever we're at the beach, I'll buy peanuts from somebody sitting on the side of the road whenever we're in South Carolina, and I'll try to make this little salad, but inevitably my daughter will come sit across from me and eat all the peanuts as fast as I can. So I sat today out in the sunshine, and I peeled these peanuts. I took them out of the shells, and so they're in a brine already, so they're delightfully salty. And so I'm just going to put them here, and then I've just chopped some cilantro. I just remembered that for the fritters, I meant to put this other weird thing in, and I forgot.
Yeah, we have avocado hot sauce.
I'm going to make a sauce. I'll make a sauce. And then I'm just going to take a few onions. I probably should have, a few tomatoes. I probably should have put some onion in this. A little spring onion would have been nice in it. And then I've got a hot pepper that I'm going to add as well. And then I'm just going to toss that together. And this is something that I know I will like because I've liked it before. Like I said, this is one of the things I like to make in the
Do you know the Tupperware
summer.
lid trick with those?
No.
You take 2 Tupperware lids.
Yeah.
You put your cherry tomatoes in one, and then you put the other one on top of it, sort of turned over, and then you can slide your knife right through and cut them all in half at once.
That is brilliant. I don't think I have 2 Tupperware lids that would.
I have many Tupperware lids.
Yeah.
With no destination.
And no bottom. Yeah.
I have
same.
many Tupperware bottoms with no lids. So
what are you putting together there?
I'm putting together a little beurre manie.
So that you
beurre
can-
meunier. So because I'm going to thicken. I'm probably going to want to thicken my Hassan
Talk
pepper.
about what you're doing there because
So-
I don't think a lot of people know this trick.
This is when you want to thicken something. When you want to thicken a stew or a sauce, you can't really exactly throw flour in. You can, but it's going to clump.
It's not
going
gonna
to
work, it'll clump.
So one way you can do that is to mix it 1-to-1 with butter.
I love this trick. I use this. I actually keep usually a little kneaded butter.
Keep a little ball of beurre manie, and this
sometimes because it's so nice to. We've talked before on this show. Avid listeners will know that I love a pan sauce. I love to make a good pan sauce, and that right there, that's the secret to a good pan sauce.
So
I just think it tastes different and a little more rich than a cornstarch.
yeah, and cornstarch is handy, but cornstarch is also tricky. And it seems like it always takes more cornstarch than I think it's going to.
And then it's a real fine line between too much, to get that sort of gelatinous.
By the way, did anybody notice that we've got some little tarts out?
Yeah, let's
over
try
here?
them.
Jean's little tarts have come out.
Let's try them. I'm excited. I haven't tried these yet.
So this was the apple sort of cookie dough,
cookie dough,
with
apple.
sausage and manchego cheese and figs. Oh my God.
That's pretty good.
Yep.
That's good.
I'd eat a bunch of them.
I'm good. I like that.
Now my 20 minutes are up over here on the Instant Pot. So I'm going to go ahead and start this venting. And that's going to take a few minutes to vent. Now you can stay in here and do this if you want, and it'll vent faster. If you're impatient like I am, you can do that. But I really want to get back to my tart. Actually,
They're
Tansy.
pretty good. There's
That was
plenty
really
of tarts to go around. I'm just squeezing some lime juice over this.
This is boiled peanut. Now, you know, throughout the South, when you know these great Southern chefs, your Hugh Atchison, your Kevin, I can't remember his last name in Atlanta. You know, they really doing fancy things with boiled peanuts is kind of a thing.
Well, one of the things I really like that's happening with peanuts right now is they're using them to fatten hogs.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get a spoon for that.
but I've been a lot of places where they would have boiled peanut hummus or something like that, and it's always very good. Good to me. These are really good. These are good.
Let's
'Cause it's
try
like-
our fritters too while we.
Yeah, we got fritters out.
I'm just gonna turn that off and leave it cracked. Okay, now wait. I'm gonna make this little sauce first. So this probably needs a little bit more tomato, maybe, but it'll do.
That looks good to me.
For my sauce, I'm going to use a
little-
Russian. This is a pre-war, as Jonathan pointed out.
Pre-war Russian
It's a
horseradish.
gourmet horseradish with beets, and it's just so beautiful. And I was telling Jonathan that when I bought it, I imagined that I need a fork.
Yep.
I imagined that I
There you go.
might, at some point, do a beet juice Bloody Mary, which I thought
That would be
seemed
good.
like a fun thing to do.
I wouldn't argue with that.
But I'm just going to mix a little bit of this. With one of our other UGO finds. It's avocado hot sauce. I'm hoping that this will stay pretty, but mixing that color green and that color pink together
Maybe a
might
little
not.
weird.
Brown food tastes good, it'll be fine.
No, I think it's still compelling.
It's pretty. Okay.
All right.
All right. First, I'm
Sláinte.
going to taste it. Sláinte. It's not bad.
Think about it.
I actually like this.
Pretty great.
It's really good. I like it.
I like it.
I want more of this on it. I like it.
It's working. Yep. Because you've got all those flavors that have blended together, and I think you don't have the unpleasantness of any one piece.
And then I think we can also try the.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to try fritter? You're scared, aren't you?
I don't blame you.
They're delicious. They're really good. And here's the dipping sauce if anybody wants to spoon a little on top. They're good. And then here's the little peanut. Let me taste this one for seasoning. This needs more lime juice. Can I use a little bit of your lime juice?
Please. Do you have the test screen, Ida?
Huh?
You have the test screen?
It's in the freezer, but I'll grab it.
Yeah,
for you.
please. So this is our boiled peanut salad. I definitely want a bite of that.
I like it.
Oh yeah,
Pretty
just
good.
so fresh.
It is.
I can see this being a great beach snack.
Yeah. And I'm imagining it served in
Yeah.
like a paper, cone. I don't know what I like best so far, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna love the rabbit.
Well,
And we've
we
got
shall
some
see.
really cool rolls too. I want to show you. that were another UGO find. I'll just get one out here and show you. And these were sunflower turmeric rolls. And they're really yellow and really pretty.
So we got these out to serve our stew over.
Let me get.
Now you've
You
got
think
so you
you
got to
need
do
a-
this
you need
until.
more of a bowl?
No, I think that'll be fine.
You did.
So you got to do this until this till the little red thing there sits down. So
I still find this intimidating
nah,
a little bit.
I've used it enough that and really this one, one like this is not going to be is not dangerous. So dum-de-dum. So that was the peanut stuff is delicious, and that just
Yeah,
those
I like the
herbs
peanut stuff.
That's just very, very fresh. And I think doing that even on the side with something like the fritter would be perfect. All right, so we're down.
You can take that.
So we got our lid, and I'm going to get down in there with. See, I'm going to get a.
You need a
I need a
spoon?
wooden spoon of some
Here, let me
kind.
get you one.
And you can see I'd added some rosemary there at the end. I forgot to do it early, but I dropped that on late because again, this usually has a lot of herbs in it, a lot of different flavors. So I'm going to go ahead and add some of my thickening butter here.
Here you go.
Thank you. I'm going to add some of my Burmese here, and
I'm like all ready.
let that thicken my. I can go ahead and pull these rosemary stems out. I really like to use rosemary whole like this because I love rosemary flavor. I don't always love having a big bunch of the leaves to get stuck in your teeth and such.
sit down
So I'm just going to pull that out there. And we see those pieces of rabbit. We can see some of the bones that have pulled back, but you can tell that those are looking good.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna
So-
get you some tongs actually.
So I'm going to kind of split one of these rolls.
Here's if you want tongs to
Yes.
get those out.
And I'm going to pull out a piece of
I'm pretty
rabbit.
excited about this. Oh,
So
look at these rolls are so pretty inside. Look at them. They're bright yellow.
Yeah, they're just
There you
that
go.
turmeric is very pretty unless it's stuck on your counter. Then
Yeah,
it's
I got a
probably
lot
not
of
as-
stuff that's
I have a lot of
stained with.
so
Here,
I'm going to get
you
down
want
here and
this
get a
to-
little
can
of
you
the.
get with that?
I think so. I'm going to get some of the sauce to go over that,
Oh my God.
and then I'm going to garnish
I wanna
this.
Pick a piece.
We've got some of these bacon flavored coconut chips.
I used most of them.
We've got enough. I'm just because all I'm doing is garnishing. Just gonna drop a few of those on it. Oh yeah, let's get a look at that.
Look at this.
All right, so
I'm pretty excited about this.
moment of truth.
Mhm.
And that rabbit is falling apart. I mean, it's just a.
Which is exactly what we want.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. Oh my God. That was so good.
Mm-hmm.
I
Because
love
the
it.
rosemary really comes through, and everything else is just
A little vinegar, a little sweet. Oh my word, that's good. And with the bread.
that is delicious.
Mmm.
Got that granita.
Mmm. Oh my God. This is so good.
Last but not least,
That granita.
We have our granita.
Woo, look at that.
and you notice this is in a different pan. It's because I actually put a test one in early. It's because this wasn't doing as well in the blast chiller as I thought it might. But again, this you've just gone through every now and then and scraped this up. And I'm
this
gonna-
is, tell me what this is again now.
So this is the
the banana?
this is the banana
We have spoons?
Yes, there's spoons.
Okay, and you're going to garnish it?
I'm going to garnish this with, well, actually,
Here.
I only have one.
Here. Are you
So
going to
that can
garnish
be
it with a
yours.
whole one?
Why not?
What the hell? We're
So-
living large on
Living
UGO
large from the
challenge.
UGO.
Okay, are we
So
ready?
I'll get mine. So this is just ice that's been scraped up, and this was the ginger ale, and then some of the banana syrup. So
That's really good. Mmm.
that is nice. It kind of hits.
That's really nice.
Kind of hits the.
That's so good.
Oh, that's delicious.
I'm not a big ice cream fan. I prefer granitas and
Yeah.
like ices, you know.
So this is very simple. It's just simple.
perfect. And it's
yeah.
not as sweet as you think it's going to be.
It's really
the
not.
freezing, I guess, really tamps down the
Yeah.
sweetness. I like everything we made.
I think we've done it. I think we've been
I think
UGO
we
challenged.
have smashed
We've smashed the
UGO
UGO challenge.
100%.
And you know, again, if you can taste, you can cook. If you can throw things together, you can cook. And most of the time, it's going to turn out pretty good. So with that, we want to thank everybody who's tuned in tonight. We want to thank our lovely assistants, our fantastic tech crew. We want to thank the Kentucky Humanities Council for some reason funding this thing. And we want to thank all of you. And we'll be right back here next month on What's Cooking Now.
With special guest.
With special guest Trisha Watts, who was a part of our original trio back in the day. So many of you will remember that. But until next time.
Remember that this is the place where food is love.
And love is delicious.
Tune
See you
in
next time.
What's Cooking Now is a production of Hyman Settlement School, with funding provided by the Kentucky Humanities Council. Hyman Settlement School is committed to cultivating and growing the local food system and the unique culinary and agricultural traditions of Central Appalachia through our foodways programs. For more information on our work, visit us at www.hyman.org and be sure to tune in to What's Cooking Now on the first Thursday of each month to see what's cooking.